You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week.
Hello, I'm Laura Painter. You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week. Family members seek justice after a Stockton mother was found stabbed, her toddler inside the home, surviving for days alone. Then in dollars and cents, Californians urged to claim $92 million in unclaimed tax refunds before the April 15th deadline. What you need to know. Plus, we hit the back roads. John Bartel takes us to the wetlands of Sacramento to see the life thriving in a very rare body of water. ABC 10 Plus This Week starts right now. A disturbing tragedy. Tonight, Stockton police are searching for the person who stabbed a mom more than a dozen times, killing her and leaving her 2-year-old alone in the house with his mother's body for 4 days.
Yeah, it's just so disturbing. She was found last Tuesday. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras spoke to the victim's family, and as you can imagine, they are just heartbroken.
As kids, Manolito Martinez once held his younger sister, Rena.
Big round brown eyes.
Today, he holds her picture.
She loved to dance. She loved music. She loved her kids. She was a wonderful mom.
The home where she lived with her 4 kids, frozen in time. It's the only house on Melody Court with the garbage bin still out and flowers at the front door.
The door was locked.
Last Tuesday morning, when Manolito's mom went to check on her daughter and 2-year-old grandson.
She started to bang on the window to get his attention, and he kind of put his head up a little bit, and he called out to his mom because he thought it was his mom.
Police eventually found his mom in the kitchen.
Multiple lacerations and stab wounds to her body. And unfortunately, she was pronounced deceased.
At least 15 wounds, according to Manolito, who says the 2-year-old had been left alone in the home for 4 days.
She knew who did this. Somebody had to have talked. Somebody had to have said something to somebody.
Police have several tools that could help them get answers in this case. This happened in one of the safest parts of town, where many homes have their own security camera systems, and every car and pedestrian going into and out of the community has to pass through this gate with several security cameras recording.
The detectives are continuing to conduct follow-up.
While police investigate, Manolito's clock is still stuck.
When things like this happen, there's no concept of time anymore. There's no concept of days. It's just anger, frustration.
And closely holding the memories and photos.
I couldn't protect her at the end in life, so now I can fight for her in death. She deserves justice. Her kids deserve justice.
In Stockton, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
And the family says the 2-year-old was severely dehydrated. He's still in the hospital tonight, but he is getting better. You can find a link to a fundraising page on our website, ABC10.com. New tonight, a small town in Placer County is pushing back against a new affordable housing project.
People in the town of Penryn, which has a population of roughly 1,000, say this is not an issue of not in my backyard.
ABC 10's Garj Palsanga explains their concerns, plus how the county and the developer are responding.
The town of Penryn along Interstate 80 might be small, but their voices together are big.
Thank you very much for showing up.
In a packed town hall at a Buddhist church, the town was in attendance, voicing their concerns about a project they say is too big.
It's just too many residents in one small area.
Penryn is willing to do its fair share, but it's about density.
The project that has residents upset is the Hope Way Apartments, a proposed affordable housing complex with 240 units. Right now, the location near Penryn Road and Interstate 80 remains undeveloped. But for Penryn residents, the project would be a significant change.
The state needs affordable housing, but this is not an issue of no money, or this is an issue of bad management.
Brian Meyer says traffic, schools, and how fire will respond have not been addressed yet. A Placer County environmental questionnaire shows the proposed project is expected to bring 624 new residents into town. But people at the town hall say it will bring more than 1,300.
They underestimated it because that makes a difference on the water, the sewer, the traffic. When you lower your numbers like that, it changes the outcome of all those studies.
Placer County does have low-income housing, but a report shows it's about 1,200 units short of what the state requires. The state has turned up the pressure on counties and cities to build more affordable housing. Last year, Attorney General Rob Bonta settled his lawsuit against the city of Elk Grove after leaders there initially denied an affordable housing project. People here say they're okay with building their share of affordable housing, but feel like the county is placing extra burden on them.
Penn is 0.002% of the county population, and yet we're getting 20% of the affordable housing. That's not appropriate. That's not fair to the people coming here or to us.
Placer County tells ABC 10 county executive staff did attend the town hall and in a statement said in part, quote, "We know the community has questions and concerns. We are here to listen as we continue our careful review of this project." The developer, Roseville-based U.S. Properties Funds, tells ABC 10 the county will hold a public meeting once all the project information is complete, and U.S. Properties Fund will participate in that meeting.
We need to be organized.
Residents say they will not back down.
60 is a more reasonable number than 1,300.
The county says this proposed project is currently going through a design and environmental reviews. Once those are done, then the county says they will host their own town hall and a planning commission meeting. No word yet on when those are going to be. Reporting from Penryn, Garsh Paulsunga, ABC 10.
In tonight's Dollars and Cents, time is running out to get your unclaimed tax refund. More than $1 billion in taxpayer money is up for grabs for certain people who did not file a tax return and were owed a refund from the IRS. In California alone, the IRS says more than 116,000 people are eligible for an average refund of $600, totaling more than $92 million statewide. An Elk Grove-based tax expert I talked with breaks down what you need to know.
It's sitting in with the government right now, waiting for you to claim it. And the only way that you can claim it is by filing a tax return.
The IRS says more than 1 million people across the country have unclaimed refunds for tax year 2021 and now face an April 15th deadline to submit their tax returns to get their refunds.
Because you get a refund, you don't get penalized, but you run out of time. And then you're not allowed to claim that refund anymore.
The IRS estimates more than $1 billion in refunds remain unclaimed nationwide, and the median refund is $781 for 2021.
There's that many taxpayers out there that just haven't filed their taxes yet, basically.
Wow. Okay. But the implication of that is also a little risky.
Yeah, some people think that the money's going to be there for them forever. And I've done actual tax returns going back 5 years. And unfortunately, there were several years where they would be losing out thousands of dollars because they just weren't filing them timely.
Under the law, taxpayers usually have 3 years to file and claim their tax refunds. If they don't file within 3 years, the money becomes the property of the U.S. Treasury.
If your returns have been filed and there is a credit on your account, the government at some point will turn around and issue a check or payment to you. But if you've never filed the return, then the statute of limitations that I mentioned applies. And basically, if they wait too long, they will not get their money.
By missing out on filing a tax return, the IRS says you could lose more than just your refund. For example, many low and moderate income workers may be eligible for the Earned Income Tax Credit, which for 2021 was worth as much as $6,700 for taxpayers with qualifying children.
It really just comes down to just filing your returns on time and just making sure that you're claiming all the withholdings that are set on those W-2s that are withheld.
On the flip side, the IRS might owe you interest on your refund. The IRS has 45 days to pay your tax refund before interest payments to you kick in. If the IRS doesn't pay within 45 days, TurboTax says it generally starts calculating interest from the filing deadline or the date the IRS received your return. And we have links and details on our website, abc10.com. You can also email me your questions at lpainter@abc10.com. And right now, on the ABC 10 Plus streaming app for your TV, I have more on what you need to know about the 2025 tax season. Watch it right now on the home screen. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Well, 2 bills related to transgender students in California died in committee today after a majority of assembly members rejected the proposed legislation. ABC 10's Becca Hobecker joins us in studio now. And Becca, these have to do with trans athletes on sports teams and much more. Kind of break it down for us.
Yeah, you know, one bill aimed narrowly to ban transgender girls from high school girls sports teams. Now, the other one was more broad. It aimed to ensure students in both K-12 and higher education participate on sports teams, use bathrooms and locker rooms, and have overnight accommodations, including dorm rooms that correspond with their sex assigned at birth. Now, those 2 Republican bills died, but the lawmakers say their fight is far from over.
Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
On Tuesday morning, members of the California State Assembly Committee on Arts, Entertainment, Sports, and Tourism heard two bills. AB 89, introduced by Republican Assemblymember Kate Sanchez, had to do with the California Interscholastic Federation, CIF, which governs high school sports in the state. Currently, and for a little over a decade now, California law says a student is allowed to participate on athletic teams and competitions and use facilities consistent with his or her gender identity, irrespective of the gender listed on the pupil's records. And CIF has told ABC10 it follows state law. AB 89 aimed to require the CIF to prohibit a pupil whose sex was assigned male at birth from participating on a girls' interscholastic sports team.
It's about playing on the hate and fear of transgender people, one of our most marginalized community.
The bill sparked nearly 2 hours of heated debate and public comment.
AB 89 is about protecting women. Full stop, and that's it.
Ultimately, AB 89 was rejected in a party line vote.
This is item number 2 on our agenda.
AB 844, introduced by Republican Assembly member Bill Asaley, would require that a student's participation in sex-segregated school programs, activities, and sports, and use of facilities including bathrooms, locker rooms, showers, overnight accommodations, and, at the college level, student housing, be based upon a student's sex assigned at birth.
Biological males do not belong in girls and women's sports.
My name is Sophia Usher. On behalf of the trans youth of California and Sacramento, I strongly oppose this bill.
After more than an hour of debate and public comment, this bill also failed along party lines. After the hearing, Assembly Republicans held a news conference and said their fight is not over. They said they haven't ruled out a ballot initiative bringing the issue directly to voters.
What we've seen in the polling is this is where Californians are. They do think that this policy has reached an absurdity.
They say California's law and policies allowing trans girls and women on female sports teams violates Title IX, a federal law that prohibits sex discrimination in education programs that receive federal funding, arguing that trans girls and women have an unfair biological advantage. So I brought that question to Democratic Assemblymember Chris Ward, who chairs the committee that rejected the two bills.
No, actually, we asked attorneys today whether or not existing California law is in compliance with Title IX, and it is. In fact, there are court cases out there in West Virginia, of all places, that have bans on transgender youth in a variety of contexts, which are stayed at the state level because those courts have agreed that Title IX has been violated by those kinds of bans.
And we should note the Trump administration has threatened to stop federal funding to states and institutions that allow trans girls and women to play on female sports teams. So I asked Assemblymember Ward whether he's concerned today's votes could jeopardize federal funding. He said California is already facing funding threats from the Trump administration for this and a variety of other reasons, and that while he'd like to cooperate with the federal government when possible, Ward says California Democrats shouldn't compromise on their values. Alex?
Becca, thank you. Tonight, Your Voice, Your Vote. The field of Democrats running for governor is getting more and more crowded. Today, former Health and Human Services Secretary, State Attorney General, and Congressman Xavier Becerra announced his candidacy for the 2026 governor's race.
Right now, what can't wait is that California dream.
Becerra said in his announcement that the California dream is very tough and wants to address affordability. He was born in Sacramento and said his parents were able to achieve the dream and wants others to be able to. He joins a very crowded field of Democrats, including Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis, State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tony Thurmond, former Senate Pro Tem and Speaker of the Assembly Tony Atkins, former State Controller and current California Democratic Party Vice Chair Betty Yee, and former LA Mayor and Speaker of the Assembly Antonio Villaraigosa. We will, of course, be sharing more about these candidates in the months to come. But To the Point recently covered the California GOP convention and also spoke to California Republicans who have officially announced their run for governor. They each have their own vision for the state's future, from tackling crime to cutting costs. They're making their case to voters. And tonight we introduce you to 4 candidates and their plans.
Chad Bianco is leading the pack of candidates, raising over $190,000 in campaign contributions so far this year, more than any other candidate. Bianco has served as Riverside County Sheriff since 2018. He's slammed Democratic policies for fueling crime, homelessness, and high living costs. His campaign focus, building a better California.
Why are you deciding to run for governor in 2026?
I came here for the California dream, and I achieved it. And the California dream for my kids
is now a nightmare. Cost of living is higher than anywhere in the country. I have 32 years of this, of irrefutable leadership ability, and I'm just going to bring it to Sacramento. And I'm going to turn our governor around, not Democrat and Republican. It's going to be a California government that is there for Californians.
Leo Zaki says as a former VP of his family's business, Zaki Farms, he got an early look at government working as a lobbyist. Now he's on a mission to take California back, calling out homelessness, failed policies, and what he calls a state in decline. Zaki believes California needs a new direction.
Well, after my family lost our poultry company due to overregulation, high minimum wage prices, utility price hikes here in California, and we were vertically integrated after we were in business for 90 years. I have felt I had to do something to prevent this from happening to other folks, because if it can happen to me, and we were the largest privately owned employer in the state of California at one point with 4,000 employees, it can happen to anybody.
Brandon Jones says he's not a politician, he's a problem solver. Jones says he's on a mission to fix California's toughest challenges, from affordable housing to safer streets. Jones believes real change starts with bold leadership and restoring hope and opportunity for all Californians.
I think all understand California is in a state of crisis. I mean, everywhere we look, whether it be the economy, public education, environmental issues, California is in trouble. So I'm running to restore California. I also lead a movement called Restore California, which aims to unite the people of California to collectively bring about real change.
After previous runs for Long Beach City Council and the California State Senate, Sharifa Hardy is now throwing her hat in the ring for California's governor. Focused on tackling homelessness, lowering taxes, and bringing businesses back to California, Hardy believes the Golden State's best days are ahead if the right changes are made.
I'm running for governor of California because politics is in my blood. My focus is on bringing a gold rush back to California, bringing companies and corporations, and out of these individuals, there's not any of them that knows more about economy, business, helping Californians than I do.
We also asked each candidate what their top 3 priorities would be their first year in office if elected.
Public safety is number one, and all of the things that come along with public safety, the homeless, the drugs, the theft, the rising crime. The regulations and the fees are driving California residents and businesses to other states that don't have them, and our school system is broken. We pay more per student than anyone in the country. We are absolutely failing our children.
Work on getting the water infrastructure in place, getting the homeless crisis under control, and mitigating the wildfires problem that we have in this state. I think those are the 3 easiest things that we can do that are also going to save the state a lot of money and make the quality of life a lot better.
I think we need to better understand how California taxpayer dollars are being spent. So I would like to audit various departments really closely, but also helping the public sector to align with the private sector. I'm really about, again, partnering with the private sector and communities to collectively bring about the change that's needed in California.
My top 3 priorities are the job sector, meaning the corporate market, as well as the housing, along with the mental health crisis, because the mental health crisis is something that's very personal to me.
We have more of our conversations with Republicans who have launched their campaigns for governor so far, and also a one-on-one interview with the California Republican Party's new leader. Our coverage is streaming now on the ABC10 Plus TV streaming app. All you have to do is just look for California GOP, a new era.
I'm here on the left field porch at Sutter Health Park. We're on the inaugural MLB game in this ballpark. Jacob Wilson, A's shortstop, hit his first career home run right here to left field. Unfortunately, the ball boy threw that ball into the crowd. Some fan somewhere has possession of it, and Jacob shared his plea to get that back.
I just don't hit too many homers. That's the first one is, something that you kind of cherish forever. You want to go back, and, for me, you always want to give it to someone like my dad, who has mentored me my entire life. He has done everything for me in baseball. He played baseball for a while, and then to be able to, kind of give it to him, let him take it home, put it in the man cave somewhere would be, pretty special for me to give that back to him. He's got the first hit ball at home. He's got the jersey, so it'd be pretty cool to kind of add to that collection. So, if you're kind enough, it'd be pretty awesome for to get that in return.
Now, Jacob's not just expecting a charitable donation to his trophy closet. He's willing to make a deal, an exchange in return for that home run baseball.
I'll get him a signed ball, signed bat, some batting gloves. If anybody's kind enough to bring it back, I think it would be pretty cool to have. If they want a little care package with those things, like I'll definitely be willing to trade that. So if they have it out there, it'd be pretty cool to get that back.
So if you were sitting in left field for the historic A's-Cubs game on March 31st and you caught a baseball after an A's home run, there's a very good chance that ball is Jacob's. Why don't you return it to him and his family where it belongs? Contact the Athletics if you have that baseball. From Sutter Health Park, Matt George, ABC 10 Sports.
That in. It's field trip day, and a busload of Sacramento County students are making their way into a wet, grassy field just outside of Mather Airport.
If I see a spider, I'm throwing it at it.
With seemingly nothing to look at in this empty field, these elementary kids are immediately drawn to what looks like, well, a giant puddle. What is going on here?
So we have a class of 5th graders out here, and they're about to see all of the life that lives in the vernal pools.
If you're unfamiliar with vernal pools, it's not surprising because there's not a whole lot of them.
These are the last remaining contiguous vernal pools in the Central Valley, and there's only about 7% of vernal pools left in the state of California.
Mackenzie Weiser is CEO of Sacramento Splash, an environmental education nonprofit that brings kids out on science field trips to teach them about Sacramento's watershed and vernal pools. What are you guys finding in there?
A bunch of little sea shrimps, the little green circles.
Huh. Much like a puddle, the vernal pools are formed by runoff from winter rains. The only difference is that rain triggers billions of tiny eggs or cysts in the soil to hatch as the vernal pools fill up. I don't know. I'm sort of afraid to even get close to there. I mean, could these things like attack or give me some sort of disease or?
No.
No.
No disease, no attack. None of that.
Okay, all right. So
in fact, you want to see these in your water.
Mackenzie says vernal pools are at the bottom of the food chain. Not only do these critters in the water feed birds and other wildlife, but vernal pools also show how clean the watershed is, kind of like a canary in a coal mine. How is it clean and thriving if there's a bunch of these little bug things in here?
Because if they can survive and live in that water, then that water is clean and thriving for us.
Before the vernal pools dry up in the summer, the critters lay eggs or cysts in the soil, but those eggs can't hatch the next winter if polluted water from city streets or farmers' fields contaminate the vernal pools. They also can't hatch in a construction site.
Vernal pools are disappearing because California is impacted and we need to develop. There's a shortage of homes and we're developing right over them.
Unfortunately, open spaces where vernal pools form are often perfect places for development.
It's kind of yellow and it has something on the back.
Okay.
Mackenzie says just 7% of California's historic vernal pools are left, and that's why Sacramento Splash is trying to educate the next generation of Californians about keeping wetlands clean and free of development.
So they're learning in their hands and they're connecting to it. So it's actually going to stick and mean something to them.
From the vernal pools in Sacramento, I'm John Bartel.
Hope to see you on the back roads.
Thanks so much for watching ABC 10 Plus this week. We're here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Laura Painter. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Our free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app has so much to offer. Get your news live and on demand 24/7 so you can watch the news when you want. There's breaking news, extended forecast, and so much more. We have everything you need to get through your day and ready for the weekend. We've got you covered on money-saving tips, travel, entertainment, and sports. Download the free ABC 10 Plus app on your smart TV and popular streaming devices like Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and more. ABC 10. We stand for you 24/7.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well.
Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC 10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. We can't mention Bay Sports without talking about the Oakland A's. We have that too. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look. It's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC 10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.